Hey everyone, what is going on? So with the Ultra League right around the corner for Go Battle League, I thought it would be cool to discuss what Pokemon I personally think are going to be seen a lot, what Pokemon are going to be the best, what Pokemon are going to be cheap to use but still be really solid and can still net you a lot of wins, because Go Battle League is not done yet, right? I mean, the Great League is ending soon. We have the Ultra League coming up, and then we're going to have the Master League. So if you like videos like this, definitely let me know, and I'll continue to make charts like this. Like, I'll do those meta simplified guides for the Silph Arena Cup. So if you do like that, definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I will continue to bring you charts similar to this for all the cups, as well as the Master League, and whenever they repeat the Great League. You guys get the point, you guys get what I'm saying. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what Pokemon I think are going to be the best. So I have an S plus tier. I have both Giratina as well as Reggie Steele. So Giratina Origin as well as Giratina Altered are going to be the best Pokemon for this. You're going to see one of them. I don't believe you're allowed to use both on the same team, so you won't see both. If I'm wrong, definitely let me know, but I don't think you are. So you'll definitely see one. I think Altered is probably going to be more common than the Origin form. The Origin one is the one that looks like a snake. So one of those you'll probably see on most high-leveled trainers teams, because those are definitely powerful. They're huge investments. They cost 100,000 starters for a second move. So I do think those will be solid. And yes, we also have Reggie Steele that is going to be back for the Ultra League, and it's going to be one of the best Pokemon in this format, in my opinion. For first and foremost, it does resist dragon attacks from these Giratinas, so it's going to have advantages in that regard. You're not going to be able to hit it with like Dragon Claw for super effective damage or anything, so it's definitely going to be really solid. So we're going to jump down the list to S tier, and I do have Togekiss on the list. Togekiss does have Charm, so with Charm, Ancient Power, as well as Flamethrower, definitely going to be really solid. You could charm down those Giratinas quite nicely, doing a good amount of damage. You do have to watch out about Ancient Power from the altered form Giratina, because that will be super effective against Togekiss, which is part flying. So that's something to look out for. But I do think Togekiss is going to be a solid Pokemon as well. Another reason why I love Reggie Steele is because it's going to resist Charm. But anyway, we have Alolan Muck, which I think is going to be really good for the Ultra League, because it does have Snarl, which charges energy really fast. And then you have Dark Pulse, which will be super effective against the Ghost-type Giratina Pokemon, as well as Sludge Wave, which can hit the fairy Pokemon that might counter Giratinas, which will probably be on everybody's team, whether it be Togekiss or Clefable, which we're going to talk about in a moment. So I do think Alolan Muck is definitely going to be really good, and I can't wait to personally try that one out and use that on my team, as well as Mew. Now, I'm not going to invest in Mew because Mew is for the Great League. For me, I didn't invest in it at all, but I'm keeping it for the Great League, so you might not see Mew just because people might prefer to keep it for the Great League, and you could only get one Mew, right? So that's one of the reasons you might not see Mew, but either way, I think it's really good for this cup. Shadow Claw going to do super effective damage against both Giratinas. It gets Overheat for Reggie Steele. It gets any move it wants. Not any move, but it gets a lot of moves, right? So that's the S tier that I labeled, and now we have the A tier, which has double the amount of Pokemon. It has Swampert, Venusaur, Regice, Cresselia, Typhlosion, and Clefable. So Clefable, starting out at the end, it is going to be a Charm user as well. So definitely going to be really solid, going to be super effective against both Giratinas. Swampert's going to be strong against Reggie Steele, which is going to be a popular Pokemon. Venusaur, going to be strong with that Sludge Bomb against Charm users, and it's also going to resist Charm. I did put Regice on the A tier list because it does get Blizzard, which will be super effective against both Charm users, but it's not going to be as good as Reggie Steele in my opinion. Cresselia also gets access to Aurora Beam, so it's really solid. And then we have, it's also really bulky, right? It's super bulky, so going to be a really good Pokemon. And then we have Typhlosion, which does get Shadow Claw as a fast move, so you can do super effective damage against both Giratinas, as well as if you have the Community Day move, Blast Burn, it's going to do a lot of damage to Reggie Steele. All three of those Pokemon are in the S tier list, so I think Typhlosion will be a solid pick for this cup, and I think you probably will see it on some players' teams. So for the other notable choices, I do have Charizard, Armored Mewtwo, Meganium, Snorlax, and Defense Deoxys. So 5 really solid Pokemon right there. Snorlax is actually really good. I was going to put in A tier, but I decided to put in notable choices just because it has Lick, so it's going to be doing super effective damage to both Giratina, right? Plus, it resists like Shadow Ball, so it's going to be taking hardly any damage. It is a tanky Pokemon, so I do think it's going to be really good. As for Deoxys Defense, I don't think it's as good as it was in the Great League, but I still think it's still a tanky Pokemon, so it still can definitely see some play. Armored Mewtwo is a good Pokemon, but the thing is, it doesn't have Psy Strike yet. It is getting it, so this might move up to like A tier, but it doesn't have it yet. It's still a really good Pokemon, and I personally have one. I'm just waiting for the Psy Strike one. Lugia is going to be a good Pokemon. We do have Lugia on this list, so you might want to consider trying out Lugia as well. Dragonite, with Dragon Breath, is going to be super effective against those Giratina Pokemon. You guys already know that. Going to be weak to Charm though, so you do have to watch out. Zapdos, and then we have Reggie Rock. I don't think this is as good as Regice or Reggie Steele in this cup, especially Reggie Steele. But it is still going to be a good Pokemon because Lock-On, all 3 of the Reggies have Lock-On, so all 3 of them are going to be doing good damage, and they're going to be getting to the charge moves relatively fast. We do have Machamp on this list. Machamp is another Pokemon that's going to be pretty good with its move pool. It does have a decent selection of moves. It has Rock Slide, Cross Chop, Counter. It does have good coverage. Melmetal, another Pokemon we've seen a little bit in the Great League. I mean, it was relatively common. I tried it out, I think, once or twice in Go Battle League. It's a good Pokemon. It's definitely a good Pokemon. Then we have Lapras. After Lapras, we have Heracross. Then we have Lucario, and then we have Suicune. So those are the Pokemon I put in the notable choices. Definitely some really good picks here. So just because they're not on S+, S, or A tier does not mean they're not good Pokemon. They're definitely good Pokemon. I just don't have them on that list. Meganium's definitely a solid Pokemon. It will hit super effective against Reggie Steele with Earthquake. We've seen that in the Great League, right? So these Pokemon definitely solid. Some of them you might also want to consider. Some of them I will be using. So I do have my solid team options. So you could pick some of these teams, and some of these teams I'm personally going to try. Like the first team, I'm going to be trying the Altered Form Giratina, Togekiss, and Reggie Steele. I already have my Giratina all set and ready to go, so I will be using that. It's going to have its charge moves are going to be Dragon Claw as well as Ancient Power, which is very powerful, and Shadow Claw. I think, is it Shadow Claw? I don't know. Is it Shadow Claw for the fast move? I think it is. I think it's Shadow Claw. So definitely a good Pokemon, and one that, as I mentioned, going to dominate the Ultra League. Then I have Togekiss as another option, which can counter that Giratina, and I also have Reggie Steele, which counters Togekiss, right? Because it's going to take less damage from that Charm user, you know. And yeah, so very solid team. I think it's going to be really good. We're going to jump on to the next team. It's also the Altered Form Giratina. Muck, which counts as Altered Form Giratina or Origin Form Giratina, as I said, with Dark Pulse. Although, I guess you'll still be taking not super effective damage, but you'll still be taking neutral damage to like Dragon Claw. But Muck, definitely a good way to go. One I cannot wait to try out as well. And then we have Swampert in there, so that's the next team. Swampert does cover that Reggie Steele, right? We've seen it in the Great League, in the Open Great League. It does get the Hydro Cannons really fast. It gets to Earthquake, or if you should go with Sludge Wave, it gets to that really fast. So really solid teams, in my opinion. So we're going to jump over to the Origin Form. I don't think the Origin Form is going to be as good in the Ultra League as the Altered Form is, but it's still a really good Pokemon. And then I also have Clefable, and then I have Typhlosion. Typhlosion does have Shadow Claw, so it's going to be super effective against both Giratinas. Plus, it also gets Blast Burn, as I already mentioned, which is going to be super effective against Reggie Steele. It does resist Charm, but you do have to watch out because it is a squishy Pokemon. So even though it resists Charm, still going to take a good amount of damage. And it also has access to Solar Beam. So if you have energy charged up before you get hit with like Hydro Cannons or any other water move, you can spam them. Not spam, but you can do a lot of damage with Solar Beam. So Typhlosion, a really good Pokemon. So we're going to jump over to the next team. It's going to be the Origin Form Giratina. Mew. Mew is going to be weak to the Giratina Shadow Claw, right? It's going to be weak because it is a Psychic type, but at the same time, it also has Shadow Claw, so it's going to be doing super effective damage to both Giratinas. So I also have Venusaur to cover like the fairies should you run across a charm user, right? So very solid team in my opinion. And then we're going to jump over to the budget team. So we have a few teams that I put together that I think are going to be really good that all cost 10,000 Stardust to buy a secondary move, and I still think they're going to be really good. So we have Typhlosion starting off the next team. As I mentioned, it does have Shadow Claw, Blast Burn, and Solar Beam. That is the moveset you're going to want for Typhlosion, and it only costs 10,000 to unlock a secondary move. Now keep in mind, Blast Burn is a Community Day move. I'm sorry guys, if you don't have it, you're going to want to look for something else. You do want that Blast Burn. Awesome coverage, powerful move. So, and that goes for all the starter Pokemon. So then we have Togekiss. Now Togekiss does cost more than 10,000 to unlock a second move, but if you unlock that second move as a Togepi, it's only 10,000. So unlock it as a Togepi and then evolve it into a Togetic and then a Togekiss, and then you'll have that second move. So really cheap option should you go that route. Totally recommend it. It's a powerful Pokemon. Unlock that second move for really cheap. Then we have Swampert. As you guys know, you know what it covers. It covers the fire types if you run into Typhlosion or Charizard. It also covers Reggie Steele. Really good Pokemon. We're going to jump over to the next team. We do have that Snorlax. As I mentioned earlier, it does have Lick, so it's going to be super effective against both Giratinas. It's also going to be resisting Shadow Ball from the origin form Giratina. So, really powerful Pokemon. I believe we also want Earthquake on it, which can hit Reggie Steele. So, going to be super effective against Reggie Steele, but you do have to watch out for Focus Blast, of course, coming from the Reggie Steele. So we have Venusaur on the team, covers the fairies, as you guys know, with Sludge Bomb, taking resistant damage. Then we have Swampert, which can also cover the Reggie Steele. So really solid team. Moving on, all of them are cheap investments, by the way, in terms of the secondary move. Snorlax, you do have to purchase a secondary move as a Munchlax, so be careful not to purchase it as a Snorlax because I believe it's 75k as a Snorlax. But anyway, we're moving on to Charizard. So Charizard, really solid Pokemon. It is squishy. So is Typhlosion. Just because it's squishy doesn't mean it's not a good Pokemon. So again, you want that Community Day Blast Burn move. If you don't have it, maybe you could try and trade for it. So definitely a good Pokemon to cover the grass types should you run into any grass types. It also gets Dragon Claw, which can hit both Giratina for super effective damage, but Dragon Claw is not really that powerful, so just be careful of that. Probably won't be doing a whole lot. They'll probably beat you. I'm not really too sure how it works, but Ancient Power from the altered form of Giratina will be doing super effective damage to Charizard, so you do have to be careful. And then we have Togekiss. We've seen Togekiss before. Buy the second move as Togepi. You guys get the drill. Same with Venusaur. Venusaur definitely unlocks the second move as cheap as 10,000 Stardust. So definitely something to look out for. Again, Community Day move. Moving on to the last budget pick set is going to be Typhlosion. We know what it does. Already mentioned it, Clefable and Meganium. Meganium will be able to hit super effective against Reggie Steele if it gets off the Earthquake. We've seen it in the Great League, right? The Go Battle League, Great League. So anyway, this is my list. Let me know what you guys think. Are you more experienced than I am? You very well might be. If you have a different opinion, if you think other Pokemon are going to be really good, definitely let us all know in the comments down below, because there could very well be something I missed. If I did a Great League video on this, I would have never mentioned Alolan Raichu because I wouldn't have thought about it. So that could be something that could be really good that I'm just not thinking about, right? So definitely let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what you plan on using your team as. Which Pokemon from this list are you going to try out? Which 3 Pokemon? Are you going to pick 3 other Pokemon? Are you going to invest in Giratina, or are you going to forget about Giratina? Let me know in the comments down below. No right or wrong answers. I just want to know what you guys have to say, and that will be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, again, let me know if you'd like to see future videos of this on all the Sylph Arena Cups as well. I could certainly cover them and discuss what Pokemon I think are going to be the S tier, S plus tier, and A tier, and solid team options. Things like that I could definitely cover, and I would be more than happy to do so. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for checking out my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, check out one of my other videos that you'll probably enjoy.